Alright guys, today we're going to do two more examples similar to the stuff we were doing yesterday. Today we're going to have a little bit of a gossip session with this one, and this one's going to kind of look like what if you're going to college kind of might look like. Okay, so you're planning a trip to Carowinds with your 8 friends. There are several people who for various reasons cannot ride in the same car. Using the following information, create a graph that illustrates those people who cannot ride together. Use the graph and graph coloring to determine the minimum number of cars necessary to transport everyone to the park. Assume that the seating capacity of the cars is not a problem and you can ride in any car. Alright, here's where the juicy reality TV stuff comes in. And we're going to use a pencil today and your colored pencils. Alright, so we're going to make a chart kind of like we did with the previous day's information with like the fire department and the finance and things like that and who has issues. So the first thing is we need to learn all the names, and it goes A through H in the alphabet. So the first person's name is Amy. Second person's name is Becky. Third person's name is Kara. Then we have David. Elena, spelled with 2 L's, E-N-A. Gary. Fred. And then, sorry, Heather, you gotta come down here because I just don't have enough room. Okay, and you have yourself, but you can ride with anybody, so you really don't have beef. Alright, so first piece of information. Amy stole Kara's boyfriend at the last party. So I'm assuming Kara's not happy with Amy. So Amy has beef with Kara. Now we're not going to write like double things, so because that gets confusing. So Amy and Kara have beef. So we're going to go with the first person's name for the majority of the time. Amy wrecked Becky's car and was refusing to pay for the damages. Okay, so Amy and Becky have beef. Fred's been dating Amy and Elena. Oh dear. And telling each of them that the other girl is chasing him. Additionally, he's been telling his friends that he has them both conned. Recently, they found out about his little scam. Amy and Elena are still best friends. Alright. Kara stole Becky's pager. Well, we know that Kara stole Becky's pager. So Kara and Becky. This is an old story apparently because it has a pager. You can put phone there or whatever, and is refusing to give it back. Kara's been telling everyone that Elena and Amy have contagious diseases. So Kara has beef with Elena and Amy because of the incident at the last party involving her boyfriend. So Kara's trying to get back at Amy, and Elena is her best friend. Okay, so David never forgave Kara. What did she do? For stealing his clothes out of the boys' locker room in the 7th grade. David told everyone Elena smells. So David has beef with Elena as well. Obviously, this did not go over well with Elena. Becky left Gary in Colorado Springs last weekend when they were camping, and Gary had to hitchhike the entire way back to Denver. So, Becky and Gary have beef. Alright. Elena accidentally forgot to feed Gary's goldfish. So Elena and Gary have beef. And it died. Okay. Heather is always cited. Poor Gary. Gary got left in Colorado Springs and his fish died. Heather is always siding with Amy and Elena, so she's always mad at anyone who's feuding with either of the girls except David. They are siblings and always back each other up. So anywhere anybody that's feuding with Amy and Elena. So she's not happy with Kara, Becky, let's see, Gary, David she likes, Elena's her friend, Gary she's feuding with, and Fred. So she's feuding with just about everybody but her brother and her two best friends. Now, that's a lot of people. My theory is we leave them all at home. But we can't do that because we got to go to Carowinds apparently. So, what we're going to do is we're going to start with purple. Actually, we'll start with blue. Okay. And this blue will be Amy. Now, Amy has beef with Kara and Becky. So I'm going to make this Becky. And this Kara. But we got to see if Becky and Kara have beef. Kara and Becky do have beef, so they need different colors. So we're going to let Becky be red. And we're going to let Kara be purple. Okay, so that's blue, that's purple. Alright, then, so Kara and Becky. Becky has issues with Gary. Okay, and is Becky listed with anybody else? Becky has issues with Kara, Amy, and Gary. Heather. Okay, so Heather has issues with just about everybody. So we're going to put Heather in blue. We'll put her over here. Because she and Amy are best buds, right? So we know she has issues with Kara. We know she has issues with Becky. And then Becky had issues with Gary. So I'm going to put old Gary. Let's put him. Gary is going to be. Can Gary be purple? Yeah, because Gary has issues with both Heather and Becky. Because I'm going into Becky's group. So he has issues with Heather. He has issues. I'll make this purple one a little bigger because I didn't draw a very good line. I'm not using my ruler like I should. Alright. Now, so we've gotten through the first two lines. Kara has issues with Becky. I didn't connect Becky and Kara. Kara has issues with Becky and Elena and Amy. So we need Elena to be somewhere. Okay. So Elena is friends with Heather and Amy. So we'll put her down here. we'll label her Elena. And I'm just picking places to put them. If you go, how do you decide where to put them? I'm just picking places. Okay? Because I know that Elena and Amy and Heather have a lot of issues with people. So I'm putting them out somewhere where we can draw lines. All right. So, anybody else have issues with Kara, Heather? All right. Then, let's go to David. David has issues with Kara and Elena. Since he is going to be touching Kara and Elena, we can make him red. Oh, David. All right. Elena has issues with Gary. And then we have Gary, who is listed with Elena, Heather, and that's it, I think. Yep. And Becky. All right. Then we have Fred. All right. Who does Fred have to touch? Fred has to touch Amy, Elena, and Heather. So I think I'm going to put Fred. I'm going to put him in the middle. And I'm going to make him, because he can't be blue, he's going to be purple, because purple was our second color. Is that purple? Yeah. Okay. So there's Fred. And he has issues with Amy and Elena. And the only reason he and Heather have issues is because Heather just hates anybody that has beef with Amy and Elena. I think she needs to make her own friends and not have beef with people. There we go. So that would be that. Now, how many colors did we use? We used 3. So how many cars do we need? 3. Okay, and we can ride in any car. 3 cars. So in car 1, Amy, Heather, and Elena can fit. In car 2, Kara, Fred, and Gary can fit. In car 3, Becky and David can fit, and we can go anywhere, so just to even it out, you can put yourself in that car. And that's how you do it. Alright, next, scheduling. Alright, so we don't have to do the part at the top because they've already done that. So, this time we're going to let red be our first color. Okay, so we have, this is going to be our A. Okay, so let's look at what the story is, though. We should always read the story. The math department has 10 classes that need to be scheduled in the spring. Below is the list of classes that cannot be scheduled at the same time due to the teacher enrollment constraints. So in other words, the teacher might be teaching both of those classes, or just the way kids register for classes, they can't be taught at the same time. Create a graph that illustrates those classes that cannot be scheduled during the same time period. Use the graph and graph color to determine the minimum number of periods necessary to schedule classes. List the possible scheduled classes. And this is kind of what our admin has to do when they're coming up with the schedule. Okay? So A cannot be with D, and it cannot be with I. But let's see if D has any issues with I. No. Does I have any issues with D? No. So they can be the same color. Let's use green this time for just a little variety. So, okay. So we have D and I. All right, next. So we got that done. All right, next. B can't be with D, I, or J. So B can be with A, so B can be red. Okay, but it can't be with D and I, and it can't be with J. Okay, so B can be red. I'm just going to put it here. What did that do with my little ruler? Here he is. Since I got to draw a little bit longer lines, I'm going to... Okay, it also can't be with J. So J can be green. Okay, so J can be green. We'll make J come right over here. So that's J. All right, so we did that one. C can't be with E, F, or I. Okay, E, F, or I. So C can be with A. So C can be red, but it can't be with E, F, or I. And I haven't put those anywhere yet, the E or F's. So I'm going to put C over here just so I have room to groove. Okay, that's the only reason I'm sticking it over there. So I don't have tons of lines all stuffed up. So it can't be with I. And then I need an E and an F. So E can't be with H or I. F can't be with I. So E and F can be the same colors, but it can't be green. So we got to introduce a new color. So let's let that be purple. Okay. We'll make this E. We'll make this F. All right. So D cannot be with A, B, or F. All right. E can't be with H or I. So H can be red as long as it doesn't interfere with A or C. And it doesn't. So E, and just because it's not touching anything crazy, we can stick H right here. That allows it to touch E really easily. And I. Okay. E, H, and I. All right, next. F can't touch I. G. I haven't put G in there yet. G can't touch J. Okay, so it can't touch J, so it can't be green, but come down here. So let's see. G could be, let's see, G can't touch J. But it can touch anybody else. So it could be red. Because red was our first color, right? So let's put G. Let's put G right here. Okay. All right. H cannot touch E. It can't touch I. So we gotta get that I. And it can't touch J. Okay. I can't touch A, B, C, E, F, and H. So we got all those lines drawn. And J can't touch B, G, or H. So we just use three colors. So in the first color we have A, B, C, G, H. The second color we use D, I, and J. And the third color we just use E and F. Okay, and there you go. And that's all you have to do. I know it can be a little confusing, so you just need to go slow. Make sure you check your things off. Thank you guys. Have a great day. Let me know if you have any questions.